set that thing. Dashboard. What are we doing? Tracking. Work accuracy against treadmill speed. Update. Alright. There we go. Let's turn that on. Move this over here. Hopefully you guys can hear me. All right. Let's do this. Okay, so we're going to do a quick test of typing. Hey, thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. Appreciate it. All right. The first thing that we have to do should be to stretch out, because that's what you always do before you do some coding or some typing, right? You want to make sure you're stretching properly, because that's important. So, I haven't actually tried this before, so this could fail dramatically. You see in the screen, this is the chart I want to do. You're welcome to take these typing tests yourself and see how you do. You can post your time in the chat if you like. If you go to this typing.com thing, there's a 1-minute test. Before we got started, just because I didn't want to bore you too much with me just sitting there typing, I did a 1-minute typing test here, which apparently I went to sleep, so I can't actually prove it to you, but the results in the chart. And this one, same deal, and that one, same deal. Alright, so that's not as interesting as I thought it would be. But I did best of 2 measurements and managed to get a 100 accuracy when I was sitting. I've got a pan here to the side. I've got a chair here that I sit up on my treadmill desk when I want to sit. And unlike most times when I'm going to stream, I'm actually going to point this thing down so you can see me typing and walking when we get started here. So here's my treadmill. There's the end of the treadmill. Here's the display with the controls to go faster and slower. There's my keyboard. So during that part of the stream that we'll get to in a moment, I'll pan the camera down so you're not having to look at my face here, and you can actually see me going along here for further proof that I didn't just record all this ahead of time or something. Alright, so let's go here and let's talk about speeds. Right, I thought I could get this treadmill to go at 0.1 up to 4, but it turns out that 0.4 is the slowest it goes, so that's what we're gonna start at for our test. I filled all these things in with zeros and hundreds, but we're going to fill that data in with real data, and this chart will update as we go. Alright, let's see. I want to verify one other thing, which is that I think the treadmill goes up to 4 miles per hour. Let's verify that before we get started, too. So we're going to start it. I'm going to step off of it. Alright, and it's going to be upside down for you, but there's the starting point at 0.4. And we'll just verify it goes up to 4. Alright, there's 4. And I won't go faster than 4. Now 4 is a decent pace, right? You're not really walking at 4. And you can probably hear it's getting pretty loud. Stop it. Alright. So I'd like to get this whole thing done in about an hour. These tests take a minute each. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like 9 of them. So that'll be like 10 minutes plus some time to drink some water or whatever in between and chat with y'all in the chat. This little chatty thing works pretty well. So I'll post a link to that. I just found it from Jeff Fritz's blog. But if you grab the chatty app, where is it? Of course I can't find it right now. There it is. There. Copy link address, and in the chat here, I just installed that. It looks like this, and it's working for me pretty well. So you might check that out if you're interested, or if you want to do any streaming. So that's much easier for me to monitor than the full dashboard. Alright, so with that, without further ado, we're going to do 0.4 miles per hour, figure out what my speed and accuracy are with this 1 minute test. And basically this thing starts as soon as I start typing. So we'll get the treadmill going, come down, you can watch me in the picture-in-picture. Is that good enough? Let's go. That's probably good. Yeah. There we go. Alright. Show me the speed here. 0.4. And like I said, we'll try and do best of 2. If I really screw up, just so we're consistent, because that's what I did with the standing still ones. Alright, I actually did better walking than I did standing still, so 99 and 99. Not bad, not bad. Let's stop that for a sec. 0.4. Not bad. Alright. The nice thing about these typing tests is you get to learn something every time, too. Like, who knew that idling got bad miles per gallon? And apologies for not talking during these tests, but that would just add distraction. I'm sure I'd make more mistakes. Okay, so let's bump it up slowly now. We'll just go up to 0.5, and then we'll do half mile increments after that, just so it's not taking forever to get through this. All right, so we'll start again. We'll get my typing test going. Hit refresh. Got a new one ready to go. We're at 0.5. You can't quite see that, but that's what that says. Wow, that ad is annoying. Go away. I should probably disable ads. Alright. Oh, hey, it's USA. That's my bank. I like that. Alright, let's go 0.5. Alright, we dropped down to 91. I have to admit I was a little bit distracted at the beginning because it was talking about children's literature, and I was waiting for it to compare that with, you know, adult literature, and it never went there. But alright, 91 and 98. Let's see. Okay, it's not bad. Take a quick pause. let's do 1 mile per hour. So we're going to double the speed and see what effect that has on my words per minute. Alright, so get started here, and accuracy for that matter. Up to 1 mile per hour, wicked fast. And go back here and hit refresh. Oh, I think I've seen this one before. I wonder if that will impact my ability to type. Let's pretend that it does and get a new. I'll tell you what, vegetable gardening. Alright. I'm not sure how many different blocks of text this thing has. That's the first time I've seen a duplicate. And let's see. Disable the phone sounds for you. And 1 mile per hour. Let's go. Okay, well that's surprising. Apparently I do better at 1 mile per hour. So 199. Alright. Cool. I think things will at some point start to go down. This tells me probably I could do a best of 2 on 0.5 and probably crank this one up. So maybe this 91 was an outlier. Okay. Alright, let's jump to 1.5. You guys are all waiting for me to fail, I know, so we gotta get there. I can assure you I can't do this very well at 4 miles per hour. Alright. 1.5 miles per hour. Refresh, start typing. We're talking about geckos. Alright, I haven't seen that one before. And bump up the speed. That's 1.5 right there. Go. And begin. And I'm still getting better. And I did not know that lizards do not have rods and cones in their eyes, so I'm learning something. Yeah, I can't go 12 miles per hour on this treadmill, unfortunately. It only goes up to 4. Alright, 101 and 99. Alright. Quick break. Sip of water. Ready for 2 miles per hour. Start that. Now, usually about 1.6 is about as fast as I go when I'm actually typically working. So I expect things to start going down in a hurry here. Let's refresh. 2 miles per hour. You can hear the treadmill's getting a little louder. And let's do this. Dogs are colorblind. Why do they care if those things are colorful? I think I type faster the faster I walk. Alright, so new high score, 105 and 99. When we get up to 4, I'll be doing 200 words per minute. Alright. That's weird. Why am I not walking at 2 miles per hour all day long? That's just crazy. Okay. Got a drink. Let's get up to 2.5. Alright, that's 2.5. I'm going to be running by the time I get to 4. Let's see, I've seen that one before. I've not seen that one before. Alright. And let's go. Ah! Okay, so 2.5 things are definitely starting to go down. 87 and 97. That's our first drop below. Oh, I guess we had 98 here. So, all right, 87 is a big drop. We're gonna do. We have 3 more measurements: 3, 3.5, and 4. Alright, so let's get us up to 3. I'm going to be tired by the time this is done. Probably should have worn more comfortable clothes today. Alright, so that's 3. You can see it there. And this is a new one. That sounds good. And let's go. Not a good start. Alright, still not bad. 89 and 98. Actually slightly better than 2.5. Okay. I'm doing this when I should be having lunch, and now it's talking to me about snacks and chips and things like that. It's distracting. Alright, let's get us to 3.5. Three and a half. When I fall down doing this test, it's going to be very hilarious for y'all. Alright. There we go. And let's do this. Alright, 91 and 98. That's still not bad. Apparently there's no speed at which I can't do this. I should have tested this out ahead of time so you guys wouldn't be disappointed by my lack of failure. Or maybe I just need to do a longer test so I get tired. Okay, 4 miles per hour. I actually think at 4 miles per hour I might have to not walk and start to break into a run, but we'll see. I think I can do a really fast speed walk at 4. Trying to type while running is a whole different challenge. Oh, alright. Let's go up to 4 miles per hour. It's going to be loud. Alright, 4 is the max. Yeah, so there's 4 miles per hour. Let's go. The really hard part actually is using the mouse, not so much typing. Like you can see my mouse just jumping all over. Alright, let's talk about volcanoes. Alright, that took a hit on the words per minute, didn't it? Alright, so I can do 78 words per minute at my max speed. And I'm a little bit tired. And 97% accuracy. Still not horrible. Alright. Well, that's what we got for testing. I said I could do best of 2, but I think that'll be boring for you all to watch. And I thought these all turned out better than I expected. I was thinking these would drop into like the 60s or something. Alright, so let's blow this up a little bit. There's our thing. This 100 scale hardly matters. I wonder if I can change the scale on this thing. I should make it so it only goes from like, I don't know, 75 to 100. Yeah, alright, I don't know. That's boring. Let's look at coding instead. Anybody have any questions, comments, feedback from the peanut gallery? Comments? If you've never tried using a treadmill desk and you thought, no way, could I ever do that? I'm not superhuman or anything. I have been doing this for a while, so I've got some practice going at it, but you know, just about anybody can stand and type. And walking at a slow pace is like, you know, it actually keeps me more engaged a lot of the time than if I'm just sitting still, especially if you have a big lunch and you're like getting tired. See, I should probably link to my blog post on this. So I have a blog post at Walking While Working, Ardalis, Walking While Working, and it's right there. And so if you Google that same thing or click on this link in the chat, which hopefully it'll let me post. All right, good. I don't have some bot stopping it. This is what I have. This is from 2014, and it's now 2019, and that was Feb, so it's been literally about 5 years, and it's still going strong. Oh, no problem. Destroyed QC. Yeah, I got that working. So thanks for coming back and checking in on that. All right, so here's what it looks like from like a side view. This was done in my basement at my house 5 years ago. The desk comes with two pieces. There's the desk part here, and then the treadmill is the base. You can buy just this TR1200DT treadmill base and use it with whatever desktop you have. And this thing comes like separate, the controller. The nice thing about this is that the treadmill is not at all attached to the desk. They're not physically touching one another. The treadmill just kind of sits under it, between it. Get out of here. So, oops, that's not what I wanted. I guess I want the back button. Which means that the treadmill, the desk doesn't slide around or wobble or anything while you're typing, which is nice, or while you're walking. I do recommend the monitor arms that I have there, which I also have here on my desk. And this was some stuff that I tracked way back when I wrote this blog post. Like, here was a typical day at work for me before a treadmill desk, right? I'd go to the office, and this is Fitbit. And it was like, look, I did almost nothing. And then this is with a treadmill desk, and now it's like, look, I got a bunch of steps in. You know, so it's pretty easy to get your 10,000 step goal with a treadmill at the office if you can just walk at a modest, you know, half mile per hour or mile per hour pace while you do your work. Got some boring conference call to listen to, go ahead and just, you know, walk for a while you're doing it. It's a little bit goofy if you've got a webcam, because then you look like this the whole time. But, you know, it works. So here's a top view of that treadmill desk, which is basically the same as the one I'm at right now, as you saw. And you can see down here, let's see if that pops up. Down here, it doesn't actually touch, like I said, and that's important. So if you do create one of these yourself or whatever, keep in mind you don't want your treadmill to be connected physically at all to your desk, because otherwise it'll shake while you're walking. All right. So some folks on Twitter, when I announced this, said, hey, typing's nice and all, but that's lame because you're a programmer. We should do writing code while moving at high speed. And my question for that was like, well, how am I going to chart that? How am I going to know if I'm doing any better or worse? And I don't really have an answer for that, but I can at least show that I can write code while I'm walking. So let's say we're going to bump this up to what's I consider to be slightly uncomfortable for me as speed-wise. We'll say 2 miles per hour, which apparently is where I'm the most productive with typing. Who knew? And we'll do a quick coding kata with the time we've got left. I've got like half an hour left on this. The string calculator kata, which you can go to my kata catalog here. Copy this link, throw it in the chat. If you go there, there's a few katas there. This is one that you actually are supposed to try and do as many steps as you can in a 30-minute period, and try not to read ahead. So in preparation for this, I have created a Visual Studio project with the string calculator, and we'll just go through that real quick. I will bump us up to 2 miles per hour. And while that's going up to speed, let's read the first requirements. Alright, so the first step is create a string calculator with the method add string numbers that returns an integer. Start with the simplest test case of an empty string, then one number, then two. Solve things simply as possible. Empty string should return 0. Numbers could return 0, could include 0, 1, or 2 integers, and return the sum of the integers provided in the string numbers. Refactor after each test. Alright, so I write a test that says it should return 0. So we'll say var calculator equal new string strong calculator. Var result equals calculator.add empty string, and assert equal 0 result. And just to make things easy, let's turn on live unit testing so I don't have to run my tests. And that should let me see here in just a moment that this no worky. Maybe? There we go. Alright, so everything's red X's. So I can come over here and I can say return 0. And poof, the test succeeds. Alright, so let's write our second test. Second test, I think, should be for one input. So returns 1 given 1 string. There's a string 1, there's a result 1, and test fails. Alright, so we'll say if string dot is null or empty, numbers return 0, otherwise return 1. All my tests pass. Great. Let's try it with two numbers now. I could try it with a different input. Let's do that first. Returns 2 given 2 as a string. 2 should give me 2. Now this will fail. And let's just say that this is int.parse numbers. Alright, good. Now it says remember to refactor after each test. These two tests look an awful lot alike, and I've now been duplicating this thing 3 times. That's too many for me. So we're going to pull that out and say we have a private read-only string calculator equals new string calculator, like that. And we're going to use that everywhere. And then this just means copy-pasted. And then our test should pass again. Great. And then this can be a theory. And this theory is going to have some inline data of some value and some expected result. And it's going to have a string input, int expected result. And our string input is going to go in here. And our expected result is going to go here. No, it's not. Expected result is going to go there, like that. And we're going to do this with 2 of these inputs, like that. And then we just need to rename it because it has a silly name now. And we'd say it returns a number given a number as a string. And that works. Alright, now it wants to work with 2 numbers. So let's do that again. And we'll just do this. And we'll say 1, 2, returns 3, returns sum given a 2 number, comma, separated string. And that does not work. So if we int parse the numbers, that's going to blow up. So I need another if statement, maybe. I'll say if numbers dot contains, comma, return 3. Because why not? Alright, so that makes that work. It's a lousy test though, so let's force us to make a better one. Or lousy implementation rather. Like that. Alright, so now we probably want to split this into some array. So we'll say var number array equals string dot split and a comma. That gives me an array of characters. And then I want to say dot select with some link. Does that give me an array of characters? There's an array of strings. String. Why am I not able to use that? Using system.link. Where's my dot select? String dot, oh, I need an input. That's what I need. I need numbers dot split, not string dot split. Numbers. Alright. Select. There we go. Dot parse s. Alright, what does that give me? It gives me a enumerable of int. That's fine. And if numbers I don't care about that anymore. And I don't really need that either. Let's just return. I can sum up that array. So I can say number. This is really getting a little bit ahead, but that's okay. That should make all our tests pass. Boom. Alright. Now, I believe I'm done with step 1. So step 1 is those 3 things I did. So now, allow the add method to handle an unknown number of numbers in a string. Alright, well, I think that's going to work just fine as it is. But let's add a few test cases. Return sum given any number of comma separated numbers. Alright, so let's try 1, 2, 3, should be 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, should be whatever that should be. And that's going to be 1 and 2 is 3 is 6 is 10 is 15 is 21. Right? Yes. Great. Done. Any refactoring that we need to do? There's a lot of repetition on that, so at some point I might refactor that, but for now I think it's okay. Most tests have that kind of a line in them, and I'm okay with that. So, next let's do, actually, to make this more interesting, let's bump up the speed. Up to 2.5 miles per hour, and we'll keep on going. So, allow the add method to handle new lines between numbers instead of commas. Example. Alright, so I need a test for that. Let's keep doing theory, because that's easier for me to do test cases on. And I can just pull our test example right from here. So, the example there returns 6, so that means that works, and returns sum given numbers separated by commas or new lines. Alright, and we'll get rid of that one for now and see that we don't have this working. Alright, so I need to be able to split on either commas or new lines, and I think this thing lets me pass in multiple things. So if I just come over here and put in a new line like that, then we pass. And that is invalid, but I don't need to test for it. We're only worried about correct results. Okay. Well, just for fun, let's put in one other case. We'll do a \n for makes 10. It's one of the nice things about inline data is it makes it easy to add test cases. And I don't want a comma there. What'd I do? Go away. Just ran the thing. That's not what I wanted. Alright, there. Good. Alright, next step. Allow the add method to handle a different delimiter. Change the delimiter, do that. Alright, so for example, that will return 3. Alright, so I'll come back to copy that in a minute. Let's do this and get rid of that and say return some given number separated by custom delimiter, and copy the example and paste it in here. Now this time that new line is not actually a separator for my numbers. It's telling me that this semicolon should be the delimiter. Why would 1, 2 be 6? 1, 2 should be 3. That's 1. Okay, so with that, I need a way to get the delimiters. And I think we'll have our input parts equal numbers dot split. And the key thing is that I want to split it on the first new line. Right? Is that going to work? I guess I just want everything up to the first new line. But I want to split it in 2 pieces. We'll try it with the new line. So we'll do that. There's my 2 parts of our first part equals input parts 0. Now if there was no new line, this could be my actual input. So how do I know if that's what I want? I think I really only want to do this if the string starts with // So I'll say if numbers dot starts with // then we're going to do this step and process it some more. So then we'll split it on \n. The first part will be the first part. We'll get rid of the // with nothing, like that. And now the first part is just my delimiter. Let's get a list of delimiters. So let's go, here's probably fine. Var delims equals new char array. Let's do a list. New list of char, which will start off with comma and \n, like that. Is that good? That's good. Alright, do this split now on delims dot to array. Okay, and then let's just verify for a moment that all my other tests still work. I need a collection for that to build. And that breaks, but everything else is still green. That's good. Alright, so then if we start with this, we get this first part, that is our delimiter. So now we can say delims.add first part. Right. How do I make that a character? I guess we just do a char on it. Let me do that. Or is it a convert? Convert dot. Does convert work? Using system. Convert dot to character. First part. Will that work? Hopefully that works. All right. And then numbers equals input parts sub 1. As long as I only have one character term, it should do the trick. Alright, so everything's green now. Perfect. Let's do another test case just to see that this works. Let's say I want to have a pipe delimiter, and I want to pipe 3 to be 5, and that works too. Alright, so do you use light theme in real projects or just for the stream? I go back and forth between the light or dark theme. I mostly use light theme in Visual Studio, I think. This is Visual Studio Preview, which I just, 2019 Preview, which I just installed and I haven't messed with it. I haven't changed any of the settings. This is just the default, what you get after you install it. And I think light theme, from what I've read, works better when presenting. And I'm about to do an update to a Pluralsight course of mine, so I'll probably do it with VS either 2017 or 2019, but either way I'll probably do it with a light theme. So that's all. I don't have a strong preference either way. I work fine with either one. Thanks for the question. Alright, so let's bump it up to 3 miles per hour and get a real workout going here. First line is optional. All the other scenarios should work. Well, they do. My tests are all passing. All right. Calling add with a negative number will throw an exception. Negatives not allowed. And then list all the negative numbers that were in the list of numbers. For example, -1, 2 throws that exception. All right. So let's add a new test case. There we go. I don't know why that's orange. I don't like it. This will throws exception given negative numbers in string input. Alright, so give me a sample there of simply -1, 2, and we'll throw that in here. Dang it. Just type it in by hand. -1, 2. I don't need a second thing on this one, so we're going to adjust this one. Still don't know why that's orange. I don't know what I hit. Alright, so I don't need expected result because we're going to blow up. Okay, so assert dot exception, no, assert dot throws. Type exception will be type of exception, and then action test code. Calculator dot add input, like that, and we can say var exception equals that. And we can assert that the expected result is whatever, and this becomes exception.message. And this should say this, negatives not allowed, colon, that number. And for now, we'll just do it like this. That, and that seems to be the right test, I think. Everything's building, right? Building fine. Okay, so at some point we're going to know that these things are numbers. That's going to be down here. We have to know they're numbers before we can know if they're negative. And once we know that they're numbers, I can just do a check and see. Negative numbers, we'll just pull them out. So var negatives equal number array dot where n such that n is less than 0. If negatives dot any, throw new exception. Let's build a string of those things first. Negatives not allowed plus negative string, like that, and I need that string var negative list string equal negatives dot select string dot join comma. Actually, I don't need that. Hang on, it's too hard. I just need the string.join. I don't need the select. Equals string.join, comma, negatives. Right? Maybe? Close? Test pass? Negative string, string.join, quote, negatives. Negatives not allowed. What am I getting? No exception was thrown. Okay. Why would that be? -1, 2. Negatives. If there are any negatives, that looks fine. Let's make sure. Okay, we gotta build error. Let's see. Where is that? Why are you orange? I still don't know why that's orange. Let's find my error list. Line 24 of string calculator has a problem because of that. You people watching, you're not helping me out with this pair programming. Alright, now build succeeds. And failure, no exception was thrown. Lie. Calculator add input. Input is -1, 2. Number array wherein, that should really work. Let's do this. Let's do this. Pop in there and see what we're getting. Alright, at that point, numbers is a string. What is number array? Why is number array not listed there? Var number array. It should totally be there. Number array. Not found. Okay. There it is. Currently 0. Do I need to two-string it? Negative number array. Or two-list it rather? -1 and 2. Okay. Let's step over. Alright. Negatives. So negatives has a value, -1. Alright. Step over. Oh look, there's our string. Oh look, there's our exception. Exception. Okay. Assert. Oh, is that the problem? Is the assertion not right? You were telling me it was this problem. Let's try this again. What are you telling me? Aha. So it's not allowed input. Because that's not the one I want. I want that. Stupid mistake. Costs us the game. Okay. Run the test again. Do not use type of to check that. What am I supposed to use? Show fixes. Okay. Fix it for me. Oh, yeah, that's better. That'll make that. That's happier. Yeah, it shouldn't really be input, should it? It should be just that -1. I'm trying to get too smart. Let's just make that -1. That's good. Alright, cool. So that worked. I'd like to work with a separated one. So the easiest way to do that is to put it in here. And this will be input and string bad numbers. Now this can be the bad numbers. Like that. Still passes. But now I can do a test of multiple ones. Like this. And this should say that. And it's still green. Alright, so now we can do the next one in the kata. Numbers greater than 1,000 should be ignored. For example, 1,001, 2 returns 2. Okay. New test. Ignores numbers greater than 1,000. Returns some other y's. Alright, so input int expected result. That. We no longer need the exception. Let's steal this code up here. Paste it in down here. Input expected result. Alright, we got an example. 1,001, 2, 3. So 1,001, 2, expecting 3. What's that do? It's going to say, hey, I expected something else. Come on, where's my little code lens thing here? It's not doing it. That's alright. The nice thing about the sum thing here is you can actually pass in a lambda. So we're going to sum all the things such that I is less than or equal to 1,000. I believe it should work. It's not working. Why is that not working? Sum I such that I less than or equal to 1,000. That should be fine. We can take in a func of int, comma, whatever. I can't do it that way. I guess I have to do a select. Fine. Thought I could do that though. Select and or no, let's do a where actually. I'll select. Sorry. You try doing this at 3.5 miles per hour. And less than equal 1,000. And I sense something is not right here. But we'll see. Yeah, it's still red. Build, run this test. Return number array where n is less than or equal to 1,000. Expected 3, actual 2. Oh, well, duh. My assertion's wrong. Yay, okay. Alright, we got 4 minutes left to try and do 3 more things. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Delimiters can be any length using this syntax. // multiple delimiters. Handle multiple delimiters of any length. Yeah, you know what, I'm going to just call this and say we're good. I think we've demonstrated that one can write code. In fact, one can even write test-driven code while walking at a modest pace of 3 miles per hour. I said 3.5, but it's actually 3 right now. Alright. So, that's my code. I could probably refactor this a little bit more, but one thing students often want to do is like, once they see this, they're like, oh, well, I could just write that one test and give it all the inputs and all the outputs, and that's it, right? One test for the whole thing. I caution against doing that, because what you really want is when you look at your tests here, you want each different test logic, different test case to have its own thing here that you can see, so that when you break a particular thing, like let's say I accidentally do something wrong with this, right? We'll say and false. Okay, I just broke some test case. Well, now I know immediately, oh, it's the negative numbers test case that's broken. Not, test all the things has one failure, right? And here it'll show me the individual test cases that broke. But at the high level, I know that the feature of my application that's broken is this feature that I'm testing. So even though I could test everything with just one theory and a whole bunch of inputs and expected results, that doesn't give you a very good output when you look at the tests. All right. So that's what I got for today. Thanks for joining. Hope this was somewhat interesting for you. Sorry I didn't crash and burn harder on the typing test. I at least got a workout. So I'm going to grab some lunch. I'll talk to you guys next time. Subscribe, please, either in Twitch here or on YouTube, where this will show up here later. Any last questions before I go? All right. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.